What's up guys, and welcome back to another Wynand Crypto video. Looking at tomorrow's financial landscape, there are several essential components required to make this vision an actual reality. Quant network stands as one of those critical components from my perspective. For years, we've argued about which performs better, Quant versus Chainlink, and I've consistently discussed this across numerous occasions, even when comparing various DLTs against each other. These represent components that I believe will collaborate together to ensure this Web3 future truly materializes. Now regarding QNT, concerning Quant itself, throughout the recent years, we've witnessed many people essentially abandoning QNT, and that's due to the chart appearing like this. Believe it or not, I'm genuinely excited about this price chart. Why? It's incredibly dull. What have I mentioned previously about boring charts? They usually precede significant movements. For instance, just look back to 2018, extending through approximately 2021 for QNT. This represented completely boring price movement. We're discussing sub $10 levels leading into December, naturally, the conclusion of December through January, when the major movement actually officially began for QNT, climbing all the way to $400 plus. Currently, we've remained pretty dull since roughly that peak back in 2021. So we're approaching 4 years, and everything we've accomplished during this period is trading sideways in an extremely boring manner, at the identical time that Quant's overall utility and QNT's potential strengthens every single day. Now let's discuss that alongside XRP, HBAR, XLM, and examine how this materializes. First, let's consider stablecoins, correct? Since stablecoins are becoming one of the most significant topics in this market to discuss. I've addressed this regarding XRP because I mentioned that I sound like a broken record currently, since all we discuss now is stablecoins. But how can't we? When stablecoins, you've got to consider it this way. It's a $250 billion market currently, 1.1% of the M2 money supply, and we observe stablecoin adoption occurring almost daily. During mid-May, Fireblocks stated that 90% of banks are implementing stablecoins. Cross-border B2B payments and speed drive the movement. When considering major banks entering stablecoins, what's the largest challenge that emerges? How do banks connect their legacy systems into these digital systems? It's not simply launching a stablecoin and finishing the job. Technical challenges must be addressed. This is where Quant becomes a significant player, and I'll explain that. But first, let's begin with several developments happening around stablecoins. Like this announcement on the 23rd, Fiserv introduces bank-friendly stablecoin as fintechs enter digital dollar competition. Now Fiserv represents a massive institutional participant. FIUSD will integrate directly into Fiserv's current infrastructure, enabling financial institutions to embrace stablecoin payments without restructuring systems or additional costs. This is certainly significant, but again, this represents a walled garden strategy. Why? Since this connects into Fiserv's current infrastructure. Now, this works well for those financial institutions already connected to Fiserv. But what about legacy financial systems that still require integration with this? Because again, a major bank launching a stablecoin, regardless of which infrastructure it launches through, interoperability will remain a significant challenge in the traditional world. Again, I believe this is excellent. I believe this demonstrates that institutional participants are here significantly, and they want to launch stablecoins. They want to participate in the stablecoin competition. But numerous questions remain unanswered. But additionally, we have over here exclusive MasterCard joins USDG stablecoin group, add support for PayPal and Fiserv tokens. MasterCard and Visa will both participate. Many people have asked about MasterCard. What about Visa? What will these two actually accomplish regarding the stablecoin competition? They must be involved. They will be involved. This is something I've consistently discussed. All traditional financial giants are joining because they understand if they don't, they will be abandoned. And governments too. Stablecoins. The reason stablecoins are now among the biggest discussion topics is because every government, not just the US, every government views stablecoins as becoming this major financial weapon now. We've discussed it previously. The US has weaponized the US dollar. It's the primary reason all these nations want to escape the US dollar and the US dollar system. Now the US view stablecoins as potentially becoming another preferred weapon. If that's accurate, this is extremely bullish for crypto. Why? Well, because that means stablecoins will grow astronomically throughout the coming weeks, months, and years ahead. Which returns us to Quant. Why? Well, let's examine this. So first, QuantFlow. Recently, Quant announced that we're delighted to announce that Quant was voted the best programmable payment platform at the Future of Finance Awards last week in London. This recognition truly testifies to the work we've invested in building our industry-first platform that's redefining how money functions. We'd like to thank our partners, customers, and our team for bringing our vision to life and supporting us in building a programmable money platform suitable for the digital economy. Now, when considering QuantFlow, this represents that identical financial infrastructure connected to the ECB, which was announced last month in May actually. Last month, the ECB announced that Quant, alongside nearly 70 market participants, including merchants, fintech companies, startups, banks, and other payment service providers, has been selected to work on the ECB's Digital Euro project as a pioneer partner. This is enormous. Now, when considering QuantFlow, this is programmable money for smarter financial systems, unlock liquidity and efficiency. QuantFlow is a ready-to-deploy, API-driven programmable digital money platform. This means legacy systems could easily access this with plug-and-play technology. This is built with the Overledger too. It enables banks, fintechs, and PCBs to innovate and transform their current infrastructure with account automation and payment programmability that will shape the next generation of digital finance. Combining programmable payments logic, rapid development of new products, and seamless API integration, QuantFlow can future-proof existing infrastructure, offer industry-leading customer experiences, and unlock long-term returns. Now you might ask, well, what does this relate to stablecoins and what does it relate to XRP, HBAR, and even XLM? Well, first, let's examine this. We are realizing the potential of programmable payments, intelligent payment orchestration, which is primarily payment templates for tax automation, payroll and treasury management, automate complex payment scenarios with PayScript, and then trigger-based architecture links bank accounts to real-world events. So this will connect bank accounts to any of these real-world events. And then we have secure and compliant digital money infrastructure, pretty straightforward, and interoperability across banking and digital assets. And this is the key here: seamless connectivity direct to banking systems or via open banking. Stablecoin and tokenized deposit support for cross-border and institutional payments. Integration requires minimal or no change to existing systems. This means stablecoins don't need to launch on Quant. Stablecoins launched on any network in this space can now be connected and fully interoperable through QuantFlow. Then, naturally, PayScript. This is unlocking new revenue streams and similar benefits. PayScript is simply the language behind this, or it's basically the data behind it. Who can benefit from QuantFlow? Corporates, banks, capital markets, and treasury management as well. Again, this is essentially connecting digital assets to everything, which includes stablecoins too. Now, when considering that, which networks are perfect fits for this? You could mention Ethereum, sure. Ethereum is definitely connectable. Like you can connect Ethereum into Overledger. In fact, it's always been able to connect through Overledger. Then we have the XRP ledger as well. On June 12th, we received a major update from Ripple XDev, which was the stablecoins that are live on the XRP ledger: RLUSD, USDC, XSGD, EuroP, USDB. This doesn't even include BBRL and EuroS as well, and also the EuroSV stablecoin. That's 3 Euro stablecoins and 3 US dollar stablecoins and a Brazilian stablecoin. Like, when considering all these stablecoins coming to the XRP ledger, this is huge, and it's showing us that the XRP ledger will be a crucial piece in money's evolution because of all these stablecoins issued on the actual ledger. But then you also have Hedera, which has USDC and the Australian digital dollar as well. Not to mention that Filipino banks plan to launch multi-issuer stablecoin PHPX on Hedera as well. And then you've got to consider the Stablecoin Studio, because that's what's behind this actually. The Stablecoin Studio is the key component behind this. When considering these networks that are experiencing so much stable connectivity on them already, they are perfect fits to be integrated with QuantFlow. Now again, I've discussed Quant and XRP back in 2021 because previously on Quant's website, I think it's been updated since, but if you actually visited the Overledger on their website, it would show you which networks were connected back into Overledger. They've since moved that, but previously it was Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and I think Litecoin maybe, and then Hyperledger Fabric, Hyperledger Besu. Basically, Overledger doesn't need a specific blockchain. This can connect to anything. It can connect to multiple blockchains. It can connect to traditional financial systems and traditional networks. This is the key component. I think the best way I can describe Overledger is it's the golden goose for the Web3 future and payments and for all this stuff we discuss daily to become reality. This is a true enabler. Chainlink is also a major player because Chainlink is also working on connecting traditional systems into blockchain and DLT processes. But I believe that Quant's overall approach here is extremely significant. I think everyone should focus on Quant. Also having QNT and Link in your portfolio isn't a bad idea, but we've covered XRP, we've covered Hedera. What about XLM? Because recently I made an XLM video where I discussed the stablecoins on XLM or on Stellar. The stablecoins themselves, we can see them all here. So when considering stablecoins, there are 6 of them. And there is an Australian digital dollar, AUDC, GMO Trust, which is a USD stablecoin, a Yen stablecoin through GMO, USDC Circle, and then also a Canadian dollar as well. And then we also have Euro with Circle, and there's a golden token as well on XLM. But all these stablecoins on XLM provide us with the same insight that the ones on XRP show us, which is these are becoming the networks that have some of the most stablecoins on them. There's definitely many significant ones out there already, like for example, Ethereum that has 55, Solana that has 16, and Avalanche has 10. The rest have about 6 or 5 or 4 or so. We already know that XRP has 5. I think confirmed overall, there'll still be about 7 or 8. But these networks are becoming major pieces of the stablecoin future, and I actually like to examine the ones that have the most stablecoin market cap on them as well. Over time, this will change significantly, especially as we begin seeing more adoption around stablecoins as payment services. But the main thing I'm examining here is just what will be happening going forward in this space. We'll see more governments on board, more banks on board. Institutional players will just continue to flood in. And when considering that they will need that interoperability, they will need that interconnectivity between stablecoins they're launching, the networks on which they're launching the stablecoins. And you guys, I have a special trick for you which nobody seems to be using, and I cannot wrap my head around why. Because if you sign up through my link down in the description onto the BTCC exchange, you get a 10% deposit bonus, and now stay with me here. Now here comes the important part. If you have any trading capital on any other exchange and you move it to your newly created BTCC account, you get on top of your capital, you moved another 10% extra trading capital. As an example, so if you move or deposit $50,000 to your account, you get $5,000 for free. I'm not kidding. I really don't understand why nobody's doing this. To me, it really seems like people sometimes are too lazy or just don't like free money. I cannot make that account for you. Now please pause the video for a minute to make an account. You can thank me later in the comments below, because this limited time promotion is by far the easiest way to increase your trading capital. Now let's jump back into the video. And then also it must be connected back to their traditional systems. Quant is a key player behind this. Buckle up. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Smash that like button if you're as bullish on Quant's future as I am. Subscribe for more deep dives into projects that will actually shape Web3, and ring that notification bell because this interoperability revolution is just getting started. Thank you very much for watching. Wynand Crypto out.